Every month you send $200 home, and every month, about 17 of those dollars simply vanish along the way. Not stolen, not lost, charged. And almost nobody who sends money can tell you exactly where those dollars actually go. Sending money to Africa costs more than sending it anywhere else on Earth. This is where your dollars go, and how to keep them. Picture the real people behind the numbers. A nurse in New Jersey, a driver in London, a mother waiting in Nairobi. Between them stands an invisible machine of banks, brokers, and kiosks. Every part of that machine takes a small bite. Those bites add up to nearly 9% of everything Africans abroad send home. The world average is around 6. 9% of $200 every month is more than $200 a year. A whole extra month of support, gone. And the biggest bite comes from a fee most senders have never seen. It hides in a number you never check. When you send money, the price looks honest. The app says fee $4.99. Upfront. Simple. Even cheap. But that visible fee is only half the price. The other half hides inside the exchange rate you were given. There is a real exchange rate, the one banks use when they trade with each other. You can see it on Google. Then there is your provider's rate, always a little worse. That gap has a name, the exchange rate margin. Say the real rate turns $200 into 130,000 shillings. The provider's rate delivers 126. 4,000 shillings stayed behind. Nobody sent a bill. Nobody asked permission. The money just quietly changed direction. Add the hidden margin to the visible fee, and the true price is often double what you thought you paid. The World Bank measures both fees together every quarter, across hundreds of routes. They call each route a corridor. Globally, sending $200 costs about 6.4% once you count everything. That is the honest world average. For Sub-Saharan Africa, the honest number is almost 9%, the most expensive region on the entire planet. The United Nations says this should cost 3%. Africa pays roughly triple that target, year after year. Triple the target. But why? The answer is a road. A long one, with toll booths the whole way down. Your money does not teleport. It travels, and the road between your bank and an African bank is surprisingly crowded. Most African banks are not directly connected to American or European ones, so the money hops through middlemen instead. Those middlemen are called correspondent banks. Each hop through one of them costs something. Sometimes several hops, several charges. Over the last decade, many global banks decided African routes were too risky or too small, so they quietly left. Fewer routes means less competition. Less competition means every remaining toll booth can charge more, and they do. That is why banks are the most expensive way to send money on Earth, averaging around 15% per transfer. 15% on $200. That is $30 gone before your family sees a single shilling. And the journey is not over, because the last toll booth on this road is not a bank at all. In much of Africa, the journey ends in cash, real banknotes handed over a counter in a town far from anywhere. Somebody's grandmother travels 3 hours to collect those notes. The agent, the safe, the security, all of it costs money. That cash network is expensive to run, and every sender helps pay for it inside the price of every transfer. Digital delivery is far cheaper, but only about a third of Sub-Saharan Africa is online, so cash still rules. Now the part that should make you angry. The most expensive transfers do not come from New York or London. They happen inside Africa itself, neighbor to neighbor. Johannesburg to Lilongwe, Lagos to Accra, Nairobi to Kampala. Of the world's costliest corridors, the ones charging over 20%, most begin in Sub-Saharan Africa. Sending money from South Africa averages over 15%, the most expensive major economy on the entire planet. A transfer from Johannesburg to Malawi can cost more than one from London to Lagos. Neighbors pay more than strangers. Why? Different currencies, different regulators, banks in neighboring countries that were never properly connected to each other. The roads between African countries were never built to carry African money. They were built to carry it away. So a worker in one African city, supporting family in the next country over, pays the highest tolls anywhere. Remember the 17 vanished dollars? Banking hops, hidden margins, cash kiosks, empty borders. Now you know every hand they passed through. You cannot rebuild global banking, but you can stop overpaying, starting with this month's transfer. 3 moves. Move 1. Compare the total cost, never the advertised fee. Zero fee offers can be the most expensive of all. Check the real rate on Google. Then check what your family would actually receive. The difference is the true price. The World Bank runs a free public site comparing real prices on hundreds of corridors. Use it before every send. Move 2. Go digital on both ends. Digital first services average around 3.5% to 4%. That is roughly half the cost of the old school players, and a fraction of what banks will charge you. If your family receives into mobile money instead of picking up cash, the price usually drops even further. One conversation about opening a mobile wallet can save your family hundreds of dollars a year, every single year. Move 3. Send less often, send more each time. Fixed fees eat $50 far faster than $200. If the cash flow allows it, 1 monthly transfer beats 4 weekly ones. Batch the love. Keep the money. Do all 3, and a 9% cost can fall toward 3 or 4. That is a month of support recovered. Same job, same paycheck, same love for the people back home. Just far fewer hands in your pocket. And every dollar that arrives matters more than you might think, because this money is bigger than it looks. Money sent home to Sub-Saharan Africa is worth over $50 billion a year, bigger than most foreign investment. In countries like Gambia, Lesotho, and Comoros, this money is more than a fifth of the entire economy. It is not aid, it is not charity, it is families funding families, and quietly funding whole economies with them. The system charges you most when you are not looking. So look, check the rate, count the true cost. The spider does not complain about the web. He studies it. Then he walks it better than anyone else. Next time, the money you send is losing value while it sits. Why African currencies keep falling, and what to do.